Most people think the AI chip boom has just hit its ceiling. Just over the past month alone, Micron has dropped over 20%. And if that sort of movement makes you uneasy or nervous, perhaps you haven't got the full picture. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why Micron may be set to thrive over the coming years. And honestly, I haven't heard many people talking about it. So if you want to know why I'm so confident in the stock, you should probably stick around. Just a quick disclaimer that this is my personal overview of the stock and not a recommendation to buy or sell. When deciding what to invest in, you have to do your own research. And if you're unsure, speak to a professional. So in June just gone, Micron reported the best quarter in the company's history. Revenue at $41.46 billion, up 346% year on year, and that's up 74% from the quarter before that. And just for context here, that's a higher margin than most software companies report from a company that makes physical chips. And their guidance for next quarter is $50 billion in revenue, with margins expected to hold near 86%. Those numbers alone would usually be the headline, but believe it or not, that's not the most important detail in the earnings. Before we dive any deeper into why memory matters, let's just get a very basic understanding of things. The AI chip everyone talks about, Nvidia's GPUs, isn't actually the bottleneck anymore. A modern AI data center doesn't struggle to do the thinking. It struggles to feed the chip data fast enough to keep it busy. And that's where high bandwidth memory comes in, or HBM for short. Instead of memory sitting flat on a circuit board, HBM stacks memory chips vertically, which lets data move dramatically faster between the memory and the processor. On Nvidia's most advanced chips, memory now makes up almost half of the manufacturing cost. That's more than double what it was just a few years ago. Micron is one of only 3 companies that can make this at scale. That's the backdrop. Now let me explain to you what many people are missing. For most of Micron's history, memory was treated as a commodity. Prices moved with supply and demand, quarter to quarter, no contracts and no guarantees. If Micron got their estimates wrong, they paid for it, either with unsold chips or shortages that hurt their upside. That's why recently memory stocks have run hot, because nobody could really model or predict what would happen in 4 quarters' time. But this quarter, that changed. Micron signed 16 strategic agreements with its largest customers, running all the way through to 2030. And these aren't ordinary supply deals. They're structured as take or pay. So the customer either buys what they committed to, or they pay for it anyway. And to secure their place in line, these customers have paid Micron almost $80 billion before a single chip has been shipped. Combined, these contracts guarantee a floor of around $100 billion in revenue over the next several years. And remember, that's the floor, not a forecast. That's the worst case scenario that's locked in contractually. And that's the part that I keep coming back to. Memories stop behaving like a commodity and more like a business with a backlog, similar to a software company. That's a structural change in how the business works, not just a good quarter. Now, everything sounds great so far, right? But it wouldn't be fair if we didn't highlight some of the risks involved. Micron isn't the only company expanding memory capacity right now. So are some of its biggest competitors. If everyone builds more capacity at the same time and AI spending slows down, then supply could outpace demand, and some of that pricing power could fade. The stock is also currently priced for a lot of continued growth. It's already risen sharply over the past year, and some valuation models see it as stretched relative to the more conservative fair value estimates. And I just want to keep it real, this is genuinely a volatile stock. It's moved double digits several times in a single session recently, in both directions, both up and down. None of that cancels out why I'm bullish on the stock, but it's an honest counterweight and you need to consider it. So here's my personal take. And remember, it's just my opinion, not advice. I have significant exposure to Micron, but that's through my heavy investment into the Nasdaq 100. The reason why I like understanding what's going on behind the scenes, behind the earnings, is that it really helps in periods of volatility, like right now. When you see some of these big drops, and of course, it makes you nervous and anxious, I can fall back on the knowledge and remind myself that these are some fantastic companies. They make a lot of money, provide a real service, and most importantly, a lot of their performance is locked in for the foreseeable future. Guys, if you want more short, sharp breakdowns of similar stocks, I'm probably going to do more videos like this. This is the sort of research I like to do in my personal free time, so I might as well share it. If you have any stocks you want me to look into, let me know in the comments below. And if you wanted a snapshot into how my personal portfolio is set up, I'll leave a link here to that video. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next one, guys.